we're going to talk about product imagery, the importance of product images. This is also another thing that you might consider a cost. We have to go to production with this, we have to do this, but when done right, it's the first thing is there's an optimization opportunity to streamline it, save money. And on the other side, it is a conversion opportunity, because if you're doing your images well, it's going on a website and it's converting the customer. So with that said, Brian, I'll let you talk about product imagery, branding, how it changes the conversion rate, and also a little bit about pixels and how you guys help in that process.
Awesome. Thanks, Derek. And thank you, Nicole. I think also good transition. We're going to talk about how we can help create some highly commercial content to actually get people to those checkout pages where some gorgeous chat can kick in and seal the deal. So I love it. And I think we can also talk about a little bit about real AI. I know you guys flagged a lot of the fake AI out there. I'll get into a little bit about pixels and what we're doing on that in that regard as well. So let's just dive in here. Derek, are we good to go on?
I can see your screen. Yep, looks good.
Okay, perfect. Well, I've been watching some of the previous sessions, and here we're going to talk about how we can leverage product images to boost online sales. But to start, I've actually made an adjustment, and we're not going to go after that 16%. We're going to be more ambitious here. I know there's a lot of high growth sellers that are trying to look into the future and get more out of their online experience. So we're upping the ante to 65%, and I'm going to start with some juicy content in the beginning to show you guys how some leading fashion brands are really leveraging product images today to see some pretty massive increases in sales. Okay, so just quickly, a little bit about me. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Pixels.com. I've actually been in retail for close to 20 years. I've worked at a lot of larger brands across several different departments, but really focused on fashion tech right now with Pixels.com. And we also have a sister company that's called CreativeForce.io, very much in the content creation and content management space. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. You can reach me at brian@pixels.com or also on LinkedIn. It's just /Brian Guidry. So looking forward to connect with you guys. Just a little bit about Pixels. So Pixels, we are an image editing service. We provide done-for-you image editing retouching, and we like to say that we're the easiest way to edit, retouch, and optimize all of your product images for each. So we actually don't do photography ourselves, but we work with close to 30,000 brands that are actually doing photography, either themselves in-house or hiring photographers. They send us unedited assets, and we're actually optimizing for social, etc. Okay. I think just going off of Derek, mentioning the AI, like we definitely have a hybrid model. So we're automating close to 60% of the actual image editing work that we're doing today. And then we have a staff of close to 1,000 full-time retouchers that we're actually using to finalize images. So it's very much a hybrid process that we're using. But we've actually found that that's what's giving us the consistency and also the quality to deliver for a lot of the leading fashion brands in the market today. Okay, and just in terms of the data that we're talking about, we've processed close to 50 million images for e-commerce. We actually track down to the tool level in Photoshop how those images are being processed. So we have massive data set that our ML teams love to crunch and actually are systematically automating more and more of this process along the way. So yeah, if you have any questions about Pixels as well, you can reach us at just pixels.com. So content today, I want to just focus on some quick wins. I think set the tone a little bit. I wanted to pull out 3 strategies in terms of how you can create better visuals and ultimately that are going to drive more sales and also reduce returns. Okay, so out of the gate, we're going to start on that 65%. I know that probably sounds a little bit outlandish, but we're going to give it a go. And then we're also going to talk about how to increase conversions by making shoppers focus. And then also how to how consistency on your website is also going to help you sell more and reduce returns. Okay, so let's dive in. So first, in terms of creating immersive product content, okay, a lot of people, I think, I know there's a lot of different merchants here, probably different, all different sizes, but when you actually, I think we all know, product images are the core of the e-commerce experience. It's what's, driving a lot of action and traffic on social. But, I think it really depends on, a lot of stores still are not giving the PDP pages, I think, the love that they deserve. It's, hey, maybe just a couple products are enough, or maybe, hey, we just need one editorial image, or we just need, one contextual image. I think it's just like, is there that focus there, right? I think we all know, I think now more than ever, we're competing. We're competing with offline experiences, but we're also competing with billion-dollar, mega brands that have been investing millions and millions of dollars in like immersive and connective online experiences. And content really should be, at the forefront of an e-com strategy. So it's an extremely important piece here. This is from the CEO of the Net-a-Porter Group. This is actually from Q4 in 2019. I think Net-a-Porter has been definitely at the forefront of how they're using imagery and media in general on their website. I think they're one of the first to include video on pretty much all PDP pages, but then also rolling out several different types of assets, including runway imagery, editorials, 3D spins, video, etc. Right? So yes, there's a cost to creating this type of imagery on these PDP pages, but this is really what consumers are demanding today, so they can envision themselves, in your products and really to give them kind of the best possible experience. Okay. I think there's a lot of interesting tech that's being rolled out today. ASOS in the UK, they're actually, they have several of their PDP pages that are showing 16 different on-model variants of one dress. There are some tech vendors that are doing things like this. So you can imagine, going from maybe this dress on a mannequin to actually showing this with 16 different models. Again, trying to help customers envision themselves in this product. Some other things, and this is where we're going to get to the 65%. I know that Shopify Plus just rolled out a case study with Rebecca Minkoff. In terms of AR, of course, another buzzword, but I think we're seeing, in terms of AR experiences, we've seen home decor and furniture. It's been around forever. The Wayfarers and IKEAs have been, I think more and more fashion and accessories brands are starting. And now, obviously now, ever since last summer, that's easier than ever on Shopify, right? That's with the native AR integrations. So this is something that I think certain fashion brands are leveraging this because it's still new and are seeing massive increases in conversion by leveraging AR experiences for things like, handbags, shoes. I think, on clothing, things like that. So still a little bit, I think probably still a little bit early, but we are seeing some success from brands that are doing that. So I think one of the coolest things about AR experiences and, back to the title of the presentation here, is that you can actually leverage your static 2D product images to create these models. Okay, so you actually need to do much more. You can actually, oftentimes you can take, let's say 8 to 10 2D product images and, give them to a 3D designer, and they can actually create a model for you that you can upload to your Shopify PDPs, and you can also have that experience. It's pretty seamless these days. So if you have not started playing around with that, I highly recommend it. And again, it can be as simple of leveraging your current 2D assets, and turning those into 3D models. So, I think, again, just going back to that, like how do these, adding a couple extra images to the listing, how is that going to significantly impact sales? What we've seen is that, and there's countless studies out there. I think the best one that analyzed, close to 6 million PDP pages was saying that just by having 6 2D images that have been professionally touched, it can boost your conversions up to 16%. If you're going from, let's say, amateur imagery to, hey, we're actually going to do this with a professional photographer, get them professionally retouched, that in itself is going to be a major jump in conversion. And then, of course, testing things like using new media formats like AR, 65%, like I'll take that. Like that's a pretty good test that I'm going to run on my PDP page, 100%. Okay. Obviously, the cost to do that is significantly higher than just doing the 2D assets, but still, for certain products, it will definitely pay off. Okay, so strategy number 2 here. How can we increase conversions by making shoppers focus? So I'm going to actually talk about retouching. This is the bread and butter at pixels.com. A lot of people think that retouching is a bad word. It actually has a pretty bad rap in terms of body shape and beautifying and stuff like that. And this is actually, we don't do any of that. And so, retouching is really about focus. It's about eliminating distractions. It's about saving time in your studio. It's about reducing returns, and it's also about increasing sales. Okay, so super important. What are we talking about? We're just some really basic examples. I'm sure you've seen all of these, but here I'm removing a mannequin, just again as a distraction. This is with Symmetry. I'm removing wrinkles, bad shape, things like that. Basic things, background removal, scuffs, dust, glue, anything that's going to pull our customers' attention away from the product itself. These are the types of retouching. This, I hope, yeah. Pirate tattoo. This is probably the worst and most blatant example. But again, do you want your customers focusing on the tattoo or the product itself? So simple things like that. That is really about getting your customers to focus in on the product itself that you're trying to display on your PDP pages. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people are thinking, hey, how can retouching have such a significant impact on sales? I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's like, are they gonna be clicking through to your cart page? Are they gonna be focusing on something that's actually not the product itself? So a lot of brands as well, they don't think that retouching is for them, or they want to keep things natural. We hear that a lot, and the reality is, again, we've worked with close to 30,000 retailers. We work with most of the larger enterprise retailers in the United States and Europe. 100% of them that are using our service are requesting retouching. And anti-body shape retouching brands, there's many of them these days, are also retouching products. Okay, so it's not about body shape enhancement. It's not about beautifying. It's about, let's make sure that we're presenting these products in the absolute best light. Okay. So strategy number 3 is all about consistency. Okay, and so I think there's a lot of different benefits to consistency. We're going to touch on a couple different things here. So, yeah, I think a lot of people think that imagery can stand by itself on its own channel. Whether that's the editorial or lifestyle images that you have in social channels, or the content you have on your website. Or wherever you're actually publishing content, that it stands alone. Okay, and also that, hey, maybe creative photography can't be consistent. It's not going to be consistent with our product content, things like that. So the reality is that these consistent experiences, they're significantly impacting your brand, your credibility, and also customer satisfaction. Okay. There's countless studies as well showing how consistent experiences are also reducing bounce rates, so keeping people on those category pages longer. But then also, things like return. So, hey, is the lifestyle image I'm seeing on Instagram, when I click through to the product page, is the color consistent with those products? Or even things like the image I'm seeing on model, is it the same as the flat image that I'm seeing, right? Like, are you creating consistent experiences even across different kind of media and content formats? I want to show a quick case study. This is Gemi, the D2C brand on Shopify Plus. It's been a customer of ours for quite some time. very consistent look and feel on the site. I think no surprises here. Really spend a lot of time creating beautiful product imagery on their social feeds as well, right? It's they're trying to connect oftentimes different types of editorial kind of creative shots, and really making sure things like are consistent across all touch points. So, is what I'm showing on our social feeds, if I actually click through, is that going to be the exact same, look and feel of the product when I'm going to go to checkout? I think now more than ever, where brands are, so focused on Instagram and other types of social channels, that when people do click through to the site, that they're actually seeing a similar product, that there isn't even, things like seem subtle with color, but those can be the decision of whether or not to click that buy button or not. Okay, so like just that consistency across channel, super important. I think oftentimes as well, people think that, hey, I'm using the same photographer or I'm using the same studio, right? Like my images are consistent, or like I'm always going to have the same color. This is we see this time and time again, even with some of the largest studios in the world. We see tremendous of consistency. Okay, so color needs to be matched across product, channel, and media types. Super important. So making sure that your product images have that consistent color throughout. Also, different lighting that can be within the same studio, the same setup, that can really create a huge variance in color that can impact what the final look of your product images is. And that is ultimately going to potentially impact your returns, right? So if you're showing a different shade of green, everyone knows that story, right? It's probably one of the major drivers of returns, is actually not showing your products accurately on the PDP pages, okay? Other things, like there's very cost-effective ways to really produce consistent content. We highly recommend that you're using style guides, really have a structured process of how you're going about the content creation process, not only in the studio, but also in post-production, just so that everyone is in alignment and you can really follow through with a consistent look and feel of your. Okay. So those are the 3 different strategies I have. I hope that you guys are thinking about content, thinking about how to leverage your content really to, to drive more business. If anyone has questions or struggles with content, again, at Pixels, this is our bread and butter. We work directly with a lot of high growth brands across all different platforms. I would be more than happy to speak with anybody if they would like to do a website review, actually get an audit of their site. We'd be more than happy to help you out and to discuss some different solutions that we have. Okay. We did put together an offer as well for listeners today. We've actually revived probably our best offer we've ever given out last year. We have a program that's called the Elite Retailer Program. It's really where we're giving retailers that are high growth, that are really looking to take their imagery to the next level. We're giving them access to our professional plan, and also really hand-holding them throughout that process to make sure we're helping them create beautiful assets. So we have put all the details over on the perks page of the event page today. So I just put you can also see the link here. It's just the ecomtech.link/pixels offer. But yeah, also within the platform itself, you just go over to perks, you'll also see what that is today. So yeah, I hope that has given you guys a little bit of intrigue of maybe rethinking your PDP pages, rethinking consistency, rethinking focus, and yeah, really looking forward to the rest of the sessions and to help out however we can. So
I love it. And I love the idea of bringing augmented reality onto the site. And I think I've heard from, people, a lot of merchants want this, a lot of consumers want this. And there just seems to be, it seemed like you made it sound pretty easy. And I think it is getting easier and easier. It costs a little bit of money. There's a little bit of upfront work. But if you can get it done, especially for your best-selling products, for staple products that are going to be on your site for a long period of time, This is, it's just going to be mandatory. 10 years from now, there might not even be still images. Like if it's a physical product, you're going to need to like physically hold it. You're going to need to put it on your desk, put it on your body, put it on your feet, you know, whatever it is, it's going to need to be integrated into it. You know, we need to enable people's imaginations is essentially what we're doing, and make it more creative and interactive. And that's a huge opportunity.
I think it is still, 100%. I think it is still early days just to get an idea. I mean, expect to be paying a couple $100 probably for a model. There are obviously services that are coming out. There's a lot of agencies that are specializing in model creation. But I think the beauty of it, you know, Shopify has really opened the door to make this commonplace across the industry here. And I think it's exciting for everybody. But I think you hit you definitely hit it, Derek, in saying, I think about what are your core products, right? What are the products that are going to be your staples that you really want to make sure that you're giving an amazing online experience? Start there, right? Like don't try to maybe attack the whole catalog. Start with your best sellers, you know, test it out. I think that's exactly what the Rebecca Mintoff case study is talking about, and you know, test it for yourself. I really hope you get those 65% conversion rates, but really it's about, you know, making sure that whole page and all the content on that page is really working together.
Yeah. And I can see this working in all sorts of industries, even if it's like, so I'm thinking about like product boxes or beauty boxes and discovery products. If every month just holding a box and circling around it, or if it's earrings and going around the person wearing the earrings, like there's so many different, you know, ways to do this. You know, I actually bought, because of COVID, I bought my wife a really nice necklace for our 10-year wedding anniversary. And on Shane.co is just where I bought it, you know, the Shane company or whatever. I couldn't tell how big it was. It has this really stupid guide, which just has like centimeters. And so it's like this many centimeters. I'm like, okay, well, look at centimeters like on my hand. I needed to see it on, it would have been on me in this case, but like I needed to see it on a person. And, you know, if we can just use technology to put it onto that model, you were talking about kind of adding things to multiple models or just, seeing it in a more three-dimensional or alongside even like other products, it will increase conversion rate. And so I think this is something to take home. And your offer, by the way, is incredible. 100 image credits plus the training and the 4 months free of the professional plan for only $95. It's like you're probably paying a designer developer more than that already. And then you get the added bonus of the Pixels platform and technology that you guys provide. So I highly recommend checking that out. And if you're doing photo shoots on a regular basis, Pixels is going to be a company you're going to want in your pocket for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you. We're super excited about that as well. I have to say, it is limited, so we're going to open that up to 10 retailers that do jump on that. So, okay. You know, there is an application process, but we are super excited about that offer. So just definitely, you know, feel free to take a look at that and, you know, hit me up if you have any questions.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. We're moving into our next session.